Welcome to NACTV Reads the News. My name is Gwen Jacobsen, and I'm one of many volunteers that help create programming for our station. NACTV can be seen on MTS Channel 30 or 1030, Westman Cable Channel 17, Bell Satellite Channel 592, or online at nactv.tv. These programs are made possible by our volunteers, staff, advertisers, as well as donations made by you, the viewers. If you are enjoying your NACTV experience, please consider supporting us by either donation or volunteering. You can contact our office at 204-476-2639 or at NACTV at wcgwave.ca. Now, what do we have this week? Friday, March 15th, 2024. Well, on the front page, we have some great news to congratulate 3 people that are from our hometown of Neepawa, Manitoba. Neepawa is home to National Track and Field Champions by Owen Devereaux. Neepawa's history of track and field supremacy has gone national, as Lara Denbow and Dax Turner have each won gold at the U Sports Championships. The pair of competitors, who are originally from Neepawa, are members of the University of Manitoba's U of M track and field team and competed at the National Championship held in Winnipeg on March 8th to 10th. On Saturday, March the 9th, Denbow won her first U Sports gold in the high jump, reaching 1.78 meters on her final attempt of the competition. That mark was her best effort of the competitive season and earned her a place at the top of the podium. According to an article written by Mike Still of Bison Sports, this result comes after Denbow had dealt with a stress fracture earlier in the season. On top of this victory at the Nationals, Lara has also medaled at the Canada West competition. As for Dax Turner, he secured his first national gold in the triple jump, hitting 15.82 feet on his third attempt in an event he had led from start to finish. The 3-time Canada West champion also broke U of M's triple jump record with that gold medal winning effort. Perhaps even more impressive was that this duo, who proudly represent the community of Neepawa, both won their golds within 15 minutes of each other, with Denbow winning hers first just before Turner followed up. On top of those accomplishments, a third local track athlete also earned a medal at the Nationals. Ben Perrett, who is a member of the University of New Brunswick 4x800 relay team, helped power the squad to a bronze medal on Friday, March 8th. Congratulations to all 3 competitors on their impressive track and field accolades. So here we have a picture of Dax Turner in the triple jump. And this is Lara Denbow posing with her coach. And Ben Perrett reached the podium as part of his relay team bronze medal. Neepawa Titans Junior A Hockey Club 2024 Cash Lotto is happening right now. Grand prize $20,000 plus 5 draws of $1,000. There are only 800 tickets sold. You can get 50-50 tickets, which are 5 for $50 also. The final draws are going to be Friday, March 22nd at the Neepawa Legion. Tickets available from Titan team players, board members, and staff. Tickets are also available at the Neepawa Banner and Press. So get your tickets. Neepawa posts 2023 budget surplus by Owen Devereaux. The town of Neepawa closed out 2023 with a little extra money in its pocket. Chief Administrative Officer Colleen Sensation informed to Council on Tuesday, March the 5th, that the town had an audited surplus from its general operating fund of $1,164,421. Sensation cited increased supports from the province in a few unexpected places for these additional reserves. There was a 69% increase in the 2023 municipal operating grant from the province of Manitoba, equating to $255,000 roughly. That ended a 7-year grant funding freeze. We had an increase in the urban policing grant that we receive also from the province of Manitoba. It was revised to reflect the per capita calculation that aligns us now with the 2021 population census. And then a 28% overall funding increase equating to $299,000 roughly, said Sensation. We also received a one-time payment of $435,000 from the province of Manitoba. It was Neepawa's share of the Rural Strategic Infrastructure funding that was announced in 2023 to assist municipalities with shortfalls in funding that they were experiencing. Kind of a catch-up in funding after the pandemic to put towards those projects that people are struggling to fund. Sensation also told Council that they had seen increased revenue of around $157,000 in lease rent applicable to the provincial share of the new RCMP building. If all those unexpected additional funding supports are removed for the year, the town of Neepawa still had a year-over-year spending surplus of $16,683. In response to this surplus, Council voted to transfer the surplus into the town's building and land fund reserves. This will allow for it to be available for future projects. Meanwhile, the utility operating surplus was $126,202, which is in line with the numbers that are normally seen at the end of the year. Increased water and sewer rates are the reason for this result. All right, now we have a Neepawa Rotary article. Book bargains are back in Neepawa. Preparations underway for their annual book sale by Owen Devereaux. Calling all bookworms, the Rotary Club of Neepawa has started organizing its annual book sale. This fundraiser, which first began back in 2018, is set for April the 8th to April 12th. At the former Chalet Carpets building on 139 Main Street West in Neepawa. Book sale chairperson Murray Newton said they're aiming to feature around 7,000 books this year, though that number will depend entirely on the generosity of the community. Our book collection sites are already up around Neepawa, and this year we are actively looking for books. We do have a number of books carried over from last year, but we're always grateful for any donations of gently used books. The sooner we can get them, the better it is for us. We're not interested in condensed Reader's Digest or encyclopedias, but other than that, most books we are interested in. The 4 drop-off locations for books are at the Arts Forward Cultural Centre, Gillen Schmall Agencies, as well as the Neepawa Gladstone Co-op Grocery Store and Home Hardware in Neepawa. Newton also said that if people have a large amount of books to donate, they can call him at 204-476-2542, or you can text at 204-841-1647 and make arrangements for a pickup. Jigsaw puzzles would also be accepted for the book sale. Neepawa added that around 20 of the Rotary's members have already spent the last few weeks gathering and sorting books in preparation for the event. He noted that they're off to a good start, but are always on the lookout for more. For the second straight year, the sale will be taking place at 139 Main Street West, known to locals as the former Chalet Carpets building. Newton said that space has worked out very well for them, and they appreciate Neepawa Gladstone Co-op for allowing them to use this space. The proceeds of the sale go directly towards Rotary projects in Neepawa and around the world. Now, at the Roxy Theatre this weekend, which is March 22nd and 23rd, the featured show is Dune Part 2. It says Paul Atreides unites with Shani and the Freeman while seeking revenge against the conspirators who destroyed his family, rated PG. Showtime is at 7:30 p.m. And a note that the weekend after there will be no regular movies on March 29th and 30th. Then on April 5th, 6th, and 7th, the featured movie is Kung Fu Panda 4. Okay. I'm just going to move on here. Helen Drysdale out of Helen's Kitchen this week. Her feature is entitled The Emerald Isle. Oh, that's because St. Patrick's Day is on Sunday. It is believed that the Celtics, a tall, red-headed, diverse and advanced culture from Central Europe, settled in Ireland during the Iron Age. Because the Romans left Ireland alone, the Celtics could develop their own culture, unlike many other countries. Then along came St. Patrick, who lived during the 5th century. As a 16-year-old, he was taken from his home in Britain and sold as a slave in Ireland. He lived there for 6 years, learning the local language. While working as a shepherd outdoors and away from people, he turned prayerfully to the God of his childhood for support, becoming a dedicated Christian. After escaping to Britain, Patrick had a dream in which an angel told him to return to Ireland as a missionary. After religious training, Patrick returned to Ireland and began his religious mission. Familiar with the Irish language and culture, Patrick chose to incorporate traditional rituals into his lessons of Christianity instead of attempting to eradicate native Irish beliefs. One example is the Celtic cross, which combined a native sun-worshipping symbol with that of the Christian cross. Many of the stories associated with St. Patrick, including his banishing of all the snakes from Ireland, are false, as there were no snakes in Ireland. Perhaps it was the creation of hundreds of years of embellished storytelling, or a metaphor that the snakes represented the pagans he converted to Christianity, thus banishing the snakes out of Ireland. Centuries after his death, which is believed to be March 17th, 461, the Irish have observed St. Patrick's Day as a religious holiday. While Patrick has not been formally canonized, many consider him to hold saintly status. March 17th is a day of celebration of Irish culture with parades, special foods, music, dancing, drinking, and a whole lot of green, including green beer. St. Patrick's Day celebrations, as we know them, originated in America. As the number of Irish immigrants in America grew, St. Patrick's Day celebrations were a way to connect with their homeland and Irish heritage. The first St. Patrick's Day parade dates back to 1737 in Boston, Massachusetts. The party only spread to Ireland after the arrival of television, when the Irish saw all the celebrations being had across the ocean. The multi-day St. Patrick's Day Festival, launched in Dublin in 1996, now attracts 1 million people every year. Now that is a lot of Irish stew. Wishing you, I don't know how to say this, or it's Happy St. Patrick's Day. Sir Walter Raleigh introduced potatoes to Ireland in the 1580s. Farmers found that potatoes could grow double the food in the same land, and potatoes grew well in their poor soils. Those Irish cooks were very creative in using the potato in so many ways. Perhaps you can celebrate St. Patrick's Day by trying out one of these Irish potato recipes. The boxty, the first one is called Irish boxty, or potato cake. Boxty is a traditional Irish potato cake and will put a smile on any person's face, whether they're Irish or not. The next one is called Colcannon. Colcannon is a traditional Irish dish combining creamy mashed potatoes with cabbage and onion. Instead of the cabbage, you can substitute kale or other greens. Now, Neepawa is hosting the 2024 Mixed Curling Provincials by Owen Devereaux. The best male and female curling teams from across the province are in Neepawa this weekend for the Chicken Chef Mixed Provincial Championship. A total of 10 clubs, including teams from Neepawa, Minnedosa, Arden, and Carberry, are in the running to represent Manitoba at the Mixed Nationals later this year. Neepawa does have quite the history with notable provincial curling events, as it has been host of the Provincial Men's Curling Championship on 2 separate occasions, 2013 and 2023, as well as the Manitoba Scotties Tournament of Hearts in 2009. Scott Newton, who is part of the committee that is organizing the event, said that this is also the second time in recent memory that we've had the chance to host the Mixed Provincials, as it was held here in 2016. The team, consisting of Derek Semigalski, Carrie Einerson, Kyle Einerson, and Jennifer Clark-Rourier, won that year. As for this year's Mixed Provincials, Newton said everyone involved with the Neepawa Curling Club is excited about getting the opportunity to host this championship. We were selected by Curl Manitoba to host this, and the Curling Club jumped on the opportunity to host, as it helps to showcase our great facility and curling surface. It's a great opportunity for locals to come check out some high-level curling, said Newton. The competition itself will be a triple knockout format to qualify 4 teams for playoffs. Then they play a page playoff bracket to determine the provincial champion. The local teams involved with the provincials this year are as follows. From Neepawa, Paul Robertson, skip, Michelle Jacobsen, third, Kyle Sversko, second, Heather Delacqui, lead, and the alternative is Dallas Robertson. From Minnedosa, Janelle Locke, skip, Shane McGranishan, third, Haley Lamb, second, Bryce Sissick, and lead Megan Huckaluk, and Eric Locke is the alternate player. From Carberry, Braden Calvert, skip, Kelsey Rock, third, Trevor Calvert, second, and Alyssa Calvert, lead. Oh, they're all Calverts. Okay. And from Arden, Kevin Paramore, skip, Kayla Hunter, third, Tyler Grumpelt, second, Ashley Hankey, lead, and Ron Kalbaki and Christine Peterson are the alternates. Draw times for the event are 7 p.m. on Thursday, March 14th, 10 a.m., 1 p.m., and 5 p.m. Friday, and 10 a.m., 1 p.m., and 5:30 p.m. for Saturday. The page playoffs start Sunday at 9 a.m. with the final scheduled for 4 p.m. There is no admission to the event, so spectators are encouraged to come check out the action. The lounge will be open all weekend, while the canteen will be open on Saturday and Sunday between 11 a.m. and 4 p.m. As for other events, the club's mixed bonspiel will be March 22nd to the 24th, and March 28th is the men's and ladies club championships. So everyone try to get to the Neepawa Curling Club to watch some of those games. Now, the Rural Outlook page, there's one article here about the Neepawa area 4-H group. The Neepawa and Area 4-H Beef Club was well represented in Minnedosa for the zone public speaking competition recently. The event was attended by Sviana Bjornson and Madison Robertson, Quinn Sawchuk, Summer Sawchuk, Sadie Sawchuk, Mary Jane Wilson, Owen Marchant, Ryder Muir, and Lily Kilbacki. The results of the event saw Sviana Bjornson secure first in senior speech. Quinn Sawchuk took home first in immediate speech. Madison Robertson with second in senior speech, and Ryder Muir locking in second for junior visual. Each of these individuals will go on to perform at the regionals at Hamiota later this month. So here we have a picture of Sviana Bjornson, who got first place in senior speeches and won the Fenwick Trophy. And here we have Quinn Sawchuk, who placed first in intermediate speeches. Okay, next we have an article about the Rolling River School Division unveiling their 2024-25 budget by Casper Werhan. The Rolling River School Division has charted its course for the 2024-25 school year. With the fine points now touched up, the details of its proposed budget for the year was released recently. The Neepawa Banner and Press received the details of the proposal via email on March the 4th. For the upcoming year, the total budget comes out to $28,561,425. That amount is up from last year by $1,587,770, or a 5.9% increase. Provincial revenue contributing to this year's budget is totaled at $14,064,455,000. This number is up from last year's total by $400,000 and includes $143,000 contributed towards a universal school nutrition program. There has been an increase for all but one budgeted expenditure. This was community education, which is budgeted at $25,890. This is down by $4,500, or minus 14.8% from last year. Expenditures seeing an increase compared to 23-24, as outlined by the Rolling River School Division, are as follows. Regular instruction, $631,425 increase, or 3.9%. Student support services, $290,420, or an 8%. Divisional administration, $25,150, $2.7%. Instructional support, $18,395, 3.5%. Transportation, $61,030, 3%. Fiscal and capital, $125,500, 15.7%. The Rolling River School Division is funded 41% through the provincial funding, 43% through local funding, 5% from the Rolling River First Nation, and 11% through tax grants and other revenues. For taxpayers, the mill rate that can be expected for the 24-25 year is 10.5, which is up from the 2023 mill rate of 10.1. In terms of dollars, homeowners will, on average, pay $17.91 per $100,000 value of their home. Businesses can expect to pay $25.87 per $100,000 value, and farmers will pay $10.35 per $100,000 value. The Rolling River School Division noted that the school tax rebate will reduce the increase to property owners, 50% for residential and farm properties and 10% for other properties. A review of the full budget details are available on the Rolling River School Division's website. All right. And there is a Prairie Bull Sale Distinction, 10th Annual. Tuesday, March 26, 2024 at 1 p.m. at the Beautiful Plains Ag Complex in Neepawa. All right. Annabella Proper to perform in Neepawa, submitted by Kaleidoscope. The final concert of our exciting Kaleidoscope concert series of 2023-24 at Arts Forward is closing with Annabella Proper on Friday, March 22nd at 7:30. When Annabella Proper first got together in a basement warehouse at the corner of Annabella and Higgins in Winnipeg's Point Douglas industrial area, the chemistry was obvious. Made up of old friends from the Manitoba music scene, the collaboration began to produce new music immediately, and 4 years later, that continues at every weekly rehearsal. While the primary lyrics and vocal melody are generated by singer Rob Waddell, son of Chris and Ken, the whole group is in on the process, and all 5 members contribute and shape the songs. Often one of the musicians will start to play a riff, and 10 minutes later, we have a song. Sometimes it comes out word for word off the cuff, and we all just look at each other and shake our heads and wonder what the heck just happened, said Waddell with a laugh. If I'm not mistaken, I met all these guys at Harvest Sun Music Festival in Kelwood, and I've always been blown away by their talent. Working together has been a wild and wonderful ride so far, and we have become very close friends over the years. Waddell played a solo show at Arts Forward a number of years back and was absolutely thrilled to be invited back with the band. The band consists of Vince Andrushko, Patrick Boggs, Jed Desolé, Marcel Desolé, and Rob Waddell. The March 22nd show kicks off 3 local shows with 2 dates in August: Harvest Sun Music Festival in Kelwood and White Mud Music Festival in Arden, which is Waddell's hometown and source of at least half of the inspiration for his first 3 solo albums. I love playing these songs for the people who have influenced and inspired me. It's an honor that I don't take lightly. While Annabella Proper may be difficult to pin down in a single genre, 2 hot pickers on guitar, banjo, and lap steel, plus a rock-steady rhythm section make for a sound reminiscent of the Band, Springsteen, The Hip, CCR, Hank Williams, Steve Earle, etc., and it makes a perfect canvas for Dylan-esque stream of consciousness lyrics. Arts Forward is an organization dedicated to bringing all things artistic to Neepawa and the surrounding communities that continue to make our region so strong. This concert is sponsored by Stride Credit Union, and we thank them for their continued support. Come early to secure a spot and purchase a beverage. Adult tickets are $20 at the door or can be purchased prior to the concert at Arts Forward or online at Eventbrite. Kindergarten to grade 12 students are $5 at the door only. Mark your calendars, purchase your tickets, and come join us for an evening filled with great music and a good vibe. All right. Now we have a little bit of sports news. 2024 Senior Mixed Broomball Provincials by Rob Waddell, Neepawa Banner and Press. Over 100 athletes converged at McCreary, Manitoba this past weekend for the annual Senior Mixed Provincial Broomball Championships. The rosters of the 5 teams consisted of veterans, elite players, juniors, and rookies competing for top spot. Spectators viewed exciting games in a competitive, fun atmosphere, and the organizers expressed a big thank you to everyone who contributed to making the weekend such a successful and memorable event. Players at the tournament came from Oka River, Dauphin, McCreary, Kelwood, Riding Mountain, Glenella, Tenby, Norgate, St. Claude, Haywood, and Winnipeg. Senior Mixed Provincial Broomball Championship results are as follows. In first place, Tenby Stingers. Second, St. Claude Old Timers. Third, Norgate Storm. Fourth, St. Claude Stallions. And 5 Ochre Jokers from Dauphin. Broomball's reputation as a lifetime sport continues with the oldest player, Marty Clausen, aged 68, and his grandson, Trip Clausen, aged 14, logging full shifts throughout the weekend. How cool is that? Now, Neepawa, just a little article from the Neepawa Figure Skating Club that competed at the 2024 Provincials. It was a spectacular end to the competitive season for the Neepawa Figure Skating Club. Several members of the local club competed at the Skate Manitoba 2024 Provincials in Altona and featured some impressive performances that just barely missed a podium finish. The notable results for Neepawa Figure Skating Club included Star 4 Girls, which is a Group B over 13 free program. Alyssa Nadeau, 6th place finish, and Ashley Nadeau, 8th place finish. Star 5 Women Artistic, Alyssa Nadeau, 3rd place finish. Oh, this isn't sports, but it's a Carberry by-election result. The polls closed in Carberry recently, and the results are in. The Carberry by-election results for the office of Councillor at Large, as posted by the town of Carberry on March 7th, are as follows. Debbie Ray got elected with 73 votes. Samantha Van Dam, 52 votes. Michael Hamilton, 26 votes. Ray Johnson, 15 votes. Further details on this by-election are to appear in a future edition of the Neepawa Banner and Press. Okay. Now, more sports. William Morton Warriors junior varsity girls win basketball provincials. It was almost 1 year ago to the day that the 3 coaches from the William Morton Collegiate Institute, or WMCI, junior varsity girls basketball team decided to plan for next season to be even more successful than their 2nd place finish at provincials in the PAW. Part of this plan was to add structure and discipline to the offense and defense that would hopefully enable the girls to have a better opportunity to win in the 23-24 season. In addition, the shooting and dribbling skills needed to be improved over the next 8 months. To help with this, the implementation of a basketball phys ed course for the fall that would also help assist with the players in developing those skills. In January, the junior varsity girls would start out the season going to a tournament in Somerset. The team would end up beating Elm Creek and McGregor, but lost to Souris. The girls' next action would be in a tournament in Warren, where they would defeat both Warren and Gimli and eventually lose to AAA school from Stonewall. The final tournament of the year would take them to McGregor. At this tournament, the girls would go on to defeat Glenborough and McGregor, but came up short against a strong Prairie Mountain team. All while going to tournaments, the JV girls were also playing in a Zone 7 league. WMCI would go undefeated in league games and then defeat McGregor in the Zone 7 Championship to capture their third JV girls banner in a row. With this Zone 7 win, it enabled the team to play an inter-zone game against Souris to get into the Provincials. With a full lineup and a very sound game plan, the girls would defeat the provincially number 1 ranked Souris to punch their ticket towards the provincial tournament. WMCI would now get the number 1 seed going into provincials at Springs Christian Academy in Winnipeg from March 7th to 9th. In the first game, the Warriors faced Emmanuel Christian School. The team came out shooting very well, played good defense, and easily defeated the Falcons 53-24. Top scorers would be Zoe Carolino and Ria Koschel, both with 10 points each. Other scorers included Sviena Bjarnson, Reagan Winters, and Deanne Laus, all contributing 7 points each. The game's star would be Ria Koschel with a number of blocks, assists, and contributing her 10 points. Later that afternoon, WMCI played the Ross L. Gray team from Sprague in the semifinals. The girls would struggle offensively during the middle part of the game, but stepped it up defensively, moving from man-to-man to a zone to shut down the other team's top scorers. This would allow our girls to not only stay ahead, but eventually build more of a lead to defeat the Ross L. Gray 41-33. Top scorers would be Ria Koschel with 19 points, Zoe Carolina with 12, and Paisley Needham with 6 points. The game's star would be Deanne Laus after her stifling defense and double-digit assists. The next day, WMCI played the rubber match in the JV A/AA Championship Finals against the number 2 seeded Souris Sabres. The score after the first quarter would only be 9-2 for WMCA. By the end of the half, the score would then be 17-9, still for the Warriors. The girls would continue on this path using both their fine shooting skills and excellent man-to-man defense to finish with the final score of 36-21. This would be the girls' first provincial championship banner in the history of the school. Top scorer of this game would be Ria Koschel with 11 points, followed by both Sviena Bjarnson and Deanne Laus with 8 each. Sviena would also pick up the game star in this final game of the tournament. Aside from the provincial title, 2 WMCI girls would be selected for the provincial all-star team. Reagan Winters and Deanne Laus, and finally Ria Koschel would be named MVP of the entire tournament. Head coach Donovan Nemechek and assistant coaches Paul Koschel and Trevor Lang set that goal 8 months ago for the girls because they believed this group was capable of this type of success. They are extremely proud of the girls by overcoming adversity along this journey, believing in themselves and not getting down if players were missing or injured. The girls were complimented a number of times by how structured and disciplined they played, obviously leading to their successful season and a provincial championship banner. Well, congratulations. All right, our Neepawa Titans close to clinching a playoff spot by Owen Devereaux. A dramatic come-from-behind overtime win over the Dauphin Kings on Friday, March 8th has the Neepawa Titans on the cusp of clinching a spot in the MJHL playoffs. With just 14 seconds remaining in regulation and the goaltender pulled for the extra attacker, Titans defenseman Cade Benson put the puck into the back of the net, tying the game at 2-2. Not to be outdone in terms of a heart-stopping ending, Tim Taconic ended overtime with a beautiful shot past Kings goaltender Cole Sheffield with only 2 seconds left in overtime. Colton Alexander had the other goal for Neepawa, while Jordan Bax and Caden Glover scored for Dauphin in the defeat. The 3-2 victory provided Neepawa with a much-needed pair of points in the overall standings, putting them 5 points clear of Wayway Sakapo in the MJHL's Western Division. Speaking with the Banner and press immediately after the game, Titans head coach and general manager Ken Pearson said the responsibility for this dramatic victory falls solely on the players. It's the guys on the bench that deserve the credit. When Dauphin went up 2-1, the coaching staff didn't have to say a word. I'm not sure who said it. It may have been Tim Taconic, but they just said, now we respond, guys. Now we got to go. And that's what they did. They kept pushing and pushing. We had a chance to pull our goalie late. We created a chance and Cade Benson slid the puck into the back of the net. We needed at least the 1 point, but coming out of that game with the 2 points and the win, that's important for us, said Pearson. And it goes on to say, Pearson added that everyone is taking responsibility and leading by example. He said it's not just the players with the letters on their sweaters that are stepping up. As a coach, Pearson said that type of mindset from the players makes the coaching staff's job that much easier. Tim Taconic, who scored the game winner, said none of the players felt down after Dauphin took the lead in the third period. He said everyone just locked in to put away the equalizer and to have a chance at the win. We have to empty the tank here. We want to play extra games. We want to be in the playoffs. So every game, every shift counts. We're not giving up on any of these games we have left on the schedule, stated Taconic. On Sunday, March 10th, the Titans were in Winkler for an afternoon game against the Flyers, who are 49-2-3 with 85 points. The last time these two clubs played one another back in mid-February, it was a lopsided 8-0 win for Winkler. Though the Flyers would also pick up the victory on this occasion as well, this game was much, much closer. Neepawa and Winkler were tied going into the third period before Jacob Jones scored with just 3 minutes and 58 seconds left in regulation time to give the Flyers the lead. An empty net goal from Avery Anderson would make it 5-3. John Baird, Connor Thompson, and Hayden Stocks scored for the Titans. The Neepawa Titans earned a very important 2 points in the standings on Tuesday, March 12th, with a huge 10-2 win over the Winnipeg Blues. There were 9 different scorers for the Titans, with Brendan Quinn-Lagria picking up a pair of goals. With this victory, Neepawa remained 5 points up on Wayway-Sakapo Wolverines for the 4th and final playoff spot of the Western Division. So, in this paper, it says Wayway has 50 points and Titans have 55, but I know that the Wayway Wolverines barely won against Dauphin last night. It was Wayway-Sakapo winning in overtime. So they did get 2 points, so now are only 3 points behind the Neepawa Titans. Still with hockey, this is the Tiger Hills Hockey League playoffs. Any hopes for a Cinderella-style run to the championship for the Gladstone Lakers were dashed in brutally quick fashion by the Killarney Shamrocks. The Lakers, who were the 3rd seed in the Tiger Hills Hockey League's East Division, have been swept in their best of 5 semifinal series, losing 3 straight. The Shamrocks, who were the top team in the East Division in the regular season, now advanced to the league final for the first time since the 2017-18 season. Ironically enough, that year they faced and eventually lost to the Gladstone Lakers in the championship series, 3-1. As for this year's playoff games, Killarney just proved to be that one step better right from the get-go, winning the first matchup by a 12-0 score. The one-sidedness of this result is perhaps a bit overblown, however, as the Lakers were only able to suit up a shockingly low number of 9 players for this contest. Gladstone goaltender Danny Hall stopped 69 shots. Whoa! Over the 60 minutes of action on this night. Wow. As for the highlights for Killarney, former Neepawa natives forward Rylan Gwen collected a hat trick in that game, while also adding an assist. This was the first full season the MJHL alumni has suited up for his community club. Another notable contributor for the Shamrocks on this night was Lane Gansky, who had a 5-point night, 2 goals and 3 assists. For Game 2 on Saturday, March 9th in Gladstone, it was another pretty one-sided event as the Shamrocks won 9-3. For the second consecutive games, it was Gwen who led the way, scoring 4 goals and adding an assist for Killarney. As for the Lakers, Sean Kubis, J.C. Kennedy, and Jesse Toth picked up the goals for Gladstone. For Game 3 on Sunday, March 10th in Gladstone, the Shamrocks scored the first 7 goals of the game, finishing the series with a 10-3 win. Bryce Enns had 4 goals in the game, while his Killarney teammate Isaac Friesen added 5 assists. Tom Coates, Jesse Toth, and Dylan Gabor scored for the Lakers. The Shamrocks now wait for their opposition in the Tiger Hills Hockey League final as the other semi-final series between Minneota/Alcorn and Verdun resumed on Wednesday, March 13th, just before the Banner and Press publication deadline. Minneota/Alcorn leads that series 2-0 after picking up 8-4 and 8-2 wins over the Oil Kings. And just a note about the Neepawa Titans Junior A Hockey Club, their next regular home season game and their last home season game is this Sunday, March 17th at 6:30 p.m. versus the Blizzard at the Yellowhead Arena. So, wear green for St. Patrick's Day and cheer on the Neepawa Titans. Now, still with hockey, the high school league, NACI Tigers beat Dauphin in overtime. The top-ranked NACI Tigers opened up their WHASHL semi-final series versus the 4th-seeded Dauphin Clippers on Monday, March 11th with a 2-1 win in overtime. The game saw both regulation goals scored very early in the game. Lincoln Murray opened things up for Neepawa just 2 minutes, 2 seconds into the first period with a power play goal. Cohen Kolbaki and Rylan Bray assisted on the goal. The Clippers quickly replied with a score from Lyric Smith 2 minutes, 43 seconds later to make it 1-1. This early scoring would be all we'd see for the rest of the regulation as goaltenders Harley Smith-Belisle and Owen Chubka took over. Smith-Belisle made 26 saves on the night, while Dauphin's goalie turned into a brick wall and stopped 46 shots. Another goal would not be scored until 13 minutes, 22 seconds into overtime, as Riley Davey ended the night with his 4th goal of the postseason, making the final score 2-1 for the Tigers. This victory was Neepawa's first in this semifinal series. Game 2 in Dauphin was played on Wednesday, March 13th, just after the Banner and Press publication deadline. In the other semifinal series, the 2nd-seeded Vincent Massey Vikings swept Hamiota 2-0. Okay. Gladstone Market Report by Tyler Slowinski. Gladstone Auction. After a week off due to regular Manitoba weather for this time of year, it's time to finish marketing the old calf crop and focus on the new one that's on its way. More and more cattle producers are welcoming new calves in their operations as we approach spring. As we get full swing into calving, more pen space is needed for the next calf crop, keeping the number of feeder cattle and slaughter cattle moving at a steady pace throughout the markets across the prairies. The feeder cattle market was strong. The front row held many orders, and all classes of cattle had demands. We sold 1,731 cattle through the ring, and 622 cattle on a video sale, totaling 2,353 cattle sold in Gladstone on March the 12th. The market saw a variety of cattle. Whether they were big or small, the market welcomed all classes of cattle with open arms. The market was quite aggressive with reassuring returns. Cattle futures are green, and optimism in the cattle industry is at an all-time high once again. All right, page 18. Cenovus Energy and Minnedosa Handyvan partner for service expansion for elderly community. Minnedosa Handyvan proudly announces its partnership with Cenovus Energy to launch a groundbreaking initiative aimed at expanding services in the community. This innovative pilot project spanning over 2 years signifies a significant step forward in addressing the needs of the elderly population or those with mobility limitations that may be housebound during the long winter months. The partnership between Cenovus and Minnedosa Handyvan is rooted in a shared commitment to support our elderly or those with mobility limitations in maintaining active and engaged lifestyles. Through this collaboration, Cenovus is providing crucial support to the Handyvan program, enabling a way for them to socialize with friends, run errands, access essential services, and enjoy recreational activities. One of the key features of this partnership is the introduction of a complimentary shuttle service, operating 1 day a week, generously sponsored by Cenovus. This service will enable seniors to access various destinations within the community, including grocery stores, the 50-plus center, and the state-of-the-art indoor walking track, a facility also sponsored by Cenovus. Despite being a complimentary service, the shuttle will adhere to the Handyvan guidelines requiring passengers to pre-book their seats at least 2 days in advance. Additionally, passengers must provide a minimum of 1 day's notice for cancellations, ensuring efficient scheduling and utilization of resources. Furthermore, Cenovus is also assisting in reducing costs for selected medical trips, further demonstrating its dedication to supporting the health and well-being of seniors in the community. We are thrilled to partner with Minnedosa Handyvan to launch this vital initiative, said Avi Ball, Cenovus manager of the Minnedosa ethanol plant. By providing enhanced transportation services and reducing barriers to access, we aim to empower our community to lead active and fulfilling lives. This pilot project will initially run during the next few months and the winter of 2025. Cenovus looks forward to the positive impact this partnership will have on the community. For more information about the partnership between Cenovus and Minnedosa Handyvan, please contact Maxine Woodcock at 204-868-8164. Minnedosa Handyvan is a community-based transportation service dedicated to providing accessible and inclusive transportation options for individuals with mobility challenges in Minnedosa and surrounding areas. Through its initiatives, Minnedosa Handyvan strives to promote independence and inclusion for all members of the community. Now, here we have a picture of 5 individuals entitled Canada Reads 2024. Pictured here, Wendy Robelock, Tara Ross, Karina Jasnik, Bruce Menzies, and Blair Chapman pose for a picture with each of the books selected for this year's local edition of Canada Reads. Canada Reads is an annual Battle of the Books competition organized and broadcast by Canada's public broadcaster, the CBC. Local communities such as Neepawa have organized similar events closer to home. And here we have a number of pictures also. Neepawa Gladstone Co-op supports palliative care. Neepawa Gladstone Co-op supported 7 Regions Palliative Care and Neepawa Palliative Care with its employee charitable donation program recently. Since beginning the program in 2016, they have supported palliative care in both Neepawa and Gladstone. The employees voluntarily donate $1 from each paycheck towards these 2 groups that are so important to our communities. So here we have Shayna Rempel, the HR payroll coordinator at Neepawa Gladstone Co-op, Mary Ellen Clark for the Neepawa Palliative Care, and Ian Hawken, agro manager at Neepawa Gladstone Co-op. $967 to the Neepawa Palliative Care. And here we have Dominic Neuschwander, agro yard supervisor at Neepawa Gladstone Co-op, Shannon Nickel for 7 Regions Palliative Care, and Shayna Rempel, the HR payroll coordinator at Neepawa Gladstone Co-op, also for $967. Here we have a picture, the Manitoba 4-H Provincial Bonspiel. Super. The Manitoba 4-H Provincial Bonspiel was hosted by the Portage Curling Club on February 24th. Qualifiers were held in Ethelbert, Wawanesa, Toulon, and Elm Creek in January and February. The team of Henry Walker, Skip, I imagine that's this person, Lucas Bagansky third, Daxon Baschuk second, and Aspen Johnson lead, played 4 games, leading them to win the final, winning the draw to the button and the playoff game. Wow, good for them. Here we have a couple of cute pictures. Diane Warner of the Neepawa Banner and Press and beloved pup Roxy were out enjoying the winter weather recently after the surprise storm last Wednesday. So here we have a picture of Roxy, a corgi mixed, seen having some late winter fun. Roxy got a bout of the zoomies and began making her own fun in the powdery snow. Go, Roxy, go. Okay, we'll go back. There's an article here about the Neepawa Banner and Press content no longer available on Facebook. Well, it was a good run. Changes to sharing Canadian news on Facebook finally came into effect for the Neepawa Banner and Press. The changes, announced by Meta in June of 2023, prevents content from Canadian news outlets from being shared and viewed within Canada on Facebook and Instagram. This news policy was put out in response to legislation by the Canadian government known as Bill C-18, or the Online News Act. This bill would require big tech companies such as Meta and Google to compensate media organizations if they want to continue to host Canadian news content on their platforms. While the Neepawa Banner and Press remained under the radar for this policy for some time, it was finally hit by the change on the morning of March 8th, 2024. As such, none of its content is viewable within Canada on Facebook. However, the Neepawa Banner and Press remains reliably available each and every week with select communities in our coverage area and online via our website, www.mywestman.ca. On page 8 of this week's paper, you can find out where you can pick up a hard copy of the Banner and Press. Now, thumbs up, thumbs down. There are 3 thumbs ups, so I'll read those. A huge shout out to the dedicated crews tirelessly working to clear our streets after the snow dumps. Your hard work and commitment to keeping our community safe and accessible are truly commendable. Thank you for braving the elements and making a positive impact in our neighborhood. Maranging Salamatpo, from Arlene Montemayor of Neepawa. Thumbs up to everyone who got involved in my medical incident at the March 8th Titans game. Ross, Dave, Ken, Derek, and the ladies who I was told were off-duty nurses and the paramedics and the hospital staff. Also to the lady who gave me a ride to my van at the Yellowhead Center. Very much appreciated. From Roger Lapointe from St. Rose, Manitoba. And finally, thumbs up to the individual who checked to make sure I was okay when they saw me shoveling to clear the end of a back lane in town last week. My car was also parked in the lane as I was on my way to work that morning. Although the car was not stuck and the snow was almost cleared when they stopped by, it was appreciated. These simple gestures truly make for a warm and welcoming community. Kudos to all those who extend a helping hand during the winter weather. Casper Werhan from Neepawa. Now, Rita Friesen's article, Homebodies. This week it's entitled, Farewell. That's not a really common expression anymore. It's not quite as final as goodbye. Implies more of a see you later, or as a noun it is a tribute to a time spent together. No surprise, like many of you, I think about goodbyes and farewell. They can be beautiful, painful, ugly, traumatic, peaceful, or gentle, just to name a few responses. I am currently reading Hope by Nicholas Sparks, and this paragraph stopped me in my tracks. Quote, "One of the great things about a leaf," he said to her, "is that it reminds you to live as well as you can for as long as you can, until it's time to let go and allow yourself to drift away." Unquote. Sitting vigil at the bedside of a loved one, the statement was made as the breath continued and the old heart beat steady. He never was one to give up. He never was a quitter. Another family member took the frail hand and spoke gently and firmly. Letting go is not giving up. No wonder I put the book down for a few minutes. With introspection and reflection, I expanded that sentiment. Went away, way back to when I was in an abusive relationship. There came a time, a day, a moment, when I knew that I had not been created to be anyone's punching bag, and walked away, a single parent with one small child carrying another. I wasn't giving up on life or living. I was letting go of what could not be, should not be, never giving up. There have been other times in other relationships when I have had to let go, and again, that never implies giving up. It takes an inordinate amount of courage to let go of life itself, of a dream, of an unhealthy relationship, workplace, or personal. After spending a fair amount of time on that musing, I returned to thoughts of final farewells. As the patriarch of our family was saying his farewells, the oldest son said, "You've left me some big shoes to fill," and the reply will stay with us all of our tomorrows. "Never mind my shoes, you have your own shoes to fill." Final answer. What a blessing and what a relief. Acknowledgement of individuality and individual abilities. All we really have to do is our best. My heart goes out to everyone who is faced with letting go. It doesn't get easier. It is something that needs to be done. One of the prayers that I voice regularly includes a petition for all those who are struggling to say, "It is enough," not as having sufficient material, physical, or emotional resources, but crying out for the strength to let go. The too often silent cry, unheard, unnoticed, and forgotten. I applaud those of you who have followed my musings. It's not been light or laughter filled. I have with courage showed you my thoughts and feelings, allowing you to look at your own, and more importantly, to know that we are never alone. There is no new thought or emotion. There is a commonality. We are not alone. And an editor's note, a comment just to assure our readership who may misinterpret this column as Rita's farewell. She has no intentions of saying farewell anytime soon to the Banner and Press or to you, our local readers. Well, that's good to know. All right, I'll read Faithfully Yours by Neil Stroshine, Kingdoms in Conflict, Part 2. The day started like any other day. 3 hours of college classes, followed by a quick lunch and hospital visits in 2 different hospitals in 2 different communities. After dinner with my family, I planned to spend the rest of the evening studying, working on college assignments, and preparing material for the following Sunday's service. That day's classes were quite boring. The hospital visits were emotionally draining. At the end of the last visit, the family I was visiting asked me how I was doing. They said I looked tired. One of them said, "Neil, it must be difficult balancing school, serving a rural church full-time, and helping care for a young family." They could see the strain in my eyes and hear it in my voice. There was no point in lying to them, so I sighed and agreed. As I was about to leave, the person in the next bed pulled me aside and said, "If you didn't want a life filled with stress and pressure, you shouldn't have entered ministry." Those words haunted me for a while. They don't anymore. I have learned that ministers aren't the only ones who feel that kind of pressure. We all have days when we must work long hours at various tasks in various different places just to get that day's work done. Fortunately, those days are few, and for most of us, there are many normal days between them. But as people of faith and believers in Jesus Christ, we face another conflict, a battle that never ends, a fight between the forces of good and evil, God on one side, his worst enemy, the devil, on the other. We are caught in the middle of this conflict. Several times each day, we must choose between doing what we know is right and doing what we know is wrong. And sometimes even one choice can be very difficult to make. But none of our choices will ever come anywhere near to producing the level of stress that Jesus had to endure the night before he died. He knew what lay ahead of him. Crucifixion was the most inhumane form of capital punishment ever devised. Jesus would endure hours of mental and physical torment before death would finally end his suffering. But Jesus held humanity's future in his hands. He had 2 choices. He could break the hold that the devil had on the earth and its people since Adam and Eve's sins, or he could walk away and let us destroy ourselves and this planet. But to break the devil's hold, Jesus, who had committed no sin, would have to give his life to pay for the sins of every person who ever has or ever will live on this earth. He knew that. So did God. So did the devil. The pressure on him was immense. God was on one side asking his son to walk through the pain, agony, suffering, and death he must endure so that humanity can be saved from sin and death. The devil was on the other side telling Jesus to walk away. There was only one thing that Jesus could do. As the moment of his arrest drew near, he looked up to his heavenly Father and says, "Not my will, but your will be done." He will not run away. He will walk forward, bravely facing what's ahead, knowing he's doing it for you and for me. We will join him as he faces the days ahead and the conflict continues. All right, we just have a few minutes left, so I'm just going to read a few excerpts from Looking Back. Here we have a picture of 4 Neepawa area collegiate students who were among the winners at the Western Manitoba Science Fair held in Brandon on March 9th, 1974. Wow, that's 50 years ago. Those pictured with here are Art Harris, James McDonald, Marilee Gwen, and Elizabeth Lee. Each pair won first place in their divisions, with Gwen and Lee also being awarded a cash prize for gaining the highest marks in biology projects for the grades 7 to 12 group. That's great. 50 years ago also, Neepawa natives are on the outside looking in now that the MAHA's 1974 title hunt is underway in this fair province. The natives, who last won the Intermediate A Hockey Championship back in 1967 and were finalists last season, were notified by telegram Monday they had been disqualified by the MAHA organization from participating in the current series. It is understood that the local club did not get their playdown cards in before the association's deadline. Oh my goodness. A group of 37 students and chaperones from the Faculty of Education from the University of Manitoba left February 15th on an educational bus tour to Mexico. Among these were Heather Kitty and Wanda Medill from this area. In Glenella, Liana Potrepka was crowned queen at the Glenella Community Winter Sports Ice Carnival, Saturday, March the 9th. And lastly, 20 years ago, Manitoba's Lieutenant Governor had a special message to deliver last Thursday. He said, "We're all different, but we're all special," Peter Liebus said while reading to the students at Brookdale School. We should all remember that. Liba, who has been in office for the past 5 years, has crisscrossed the province in that time, encouraging children of all ages to read. So there we have it, this week's edition of the Neepawa Banner and Press. Thank you for joining us, and hopefully we'll see you next time. So goodbye for now.